That is the story of how my dad and I almost died on June 24th, 2023. June 24th, 2023. Every year, my dad and I go on backpacking trips or hiking trips. It's like a tradition. We've been doing it since I was 12, 11.
You were 12.
So we've gone on like maybe 25, 30 of these.
Yeah.
We decided to go to Olympic National Park in Washington State. We asked rangers for recommendations, and he recommended a hike called Pyramid Peak. So we're hiking on this beautiful hike. We're in the woods, and it's pretty steep, and we noticed there's some pretty steep drop-offs, but there's trees everywhere. And then we get to the rock slide portion. And this wasn't just a rocky area. This was an exposed, almost like active rock slide area. Just one of the sketchiest sections of trail I think we've ever seen. And about this steep. So we're in trees, we get to this opening, and it's just this section where it's super steep, and the trail in some sections about this wide, in other sections it was almost about this wide, or maybe a little bit wider. Some parts were pretty stable. Some parts were loose sand, and you're looking at about a 200-yard, 150-yard drop into rocks. So you don't want to fall. And my dad is afraid of heights. So you have to wait for people to go across. And it was our turn to go. And we start walking, and I noticed it looked sketchy, and it felt even sketchier when we were walking on it.
I was looking maybe 8 inches in front of my feet so I wouldn't look at the drop off, trying to control my fears, trying to keep it together so I would remain reasonably coordinated and not make a mistake. On my right foot, as I took a step, I'm on the edge, my foot's on the edge, and it slipped maybe 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
I mean, it just slipped a tiny bit. And I admit it, I panicked. I absolutely panicked. And I just sort of threw my body against the side of the hill. I lost all my balance, I lost all my stability. Near my right hand, there was a rock lodged in the sand, and I thought, oh, that's gonna be good for stability. So I grab it, and it comes loose, and it goes tumbling down the hill.
And it's a
Didn't help my feeling a bit.
A long way down.
A long way down. My knees were on the edge of the path, and my feet were down below it, which was really bad. I couldn't get traction, and I started slipping.
And your knees were starting to give way.
My knees were giving way, and the other thing is my strength was used up. I mean, I was exhausted. I had the adrenaline pumped through, and I had nothing left.
So I instinctively thought, I gotta help. I got down on my knees next to you to reach out, and I very quickly realized, uh-oh, that was a really, really bad move, because I was in the same situation he was. Zero traction. My knees were now at the edge of the trail, and I realized I don't even know if I can pull myself back up. And then it dawned on me, not only is my dad in trouble, we're both in trouble.
At the end, you don't end in the water or sand. You end crashing against trees and rocks that we could see piled up as a result of the landslide.
A feeling I've never had before in my life of, I don't think we're gonna get out of this. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. Oh God, and then I remember thinking, no way. Come on. Father, son are gonna die because we took one misstep on a trail that wasn't even marked as a danger? Come on. No way. This can't be how this ends. Yeah. I remember thinking, I was angry, but I didn't know what to do. I remember you said, Mark, I need you to call out for help right now. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yes, sorry, let's shake out of this. Maybe someone can help us. So I remember then thinking, we can get help, but I was like, even if we get help from other hikers, they're just gonna fall down with us, because there's nothing for them to get treading on or to get leverage. And I remember saying hey, can we get some help, please? And hey, please, and people immediately heard us. We got so lucky that it just so happened that the group of hikers that we called out for help was a group of US Army soldiers and one of their buddies who's a very experienced, super athletic hiker. They just fearlessly jumped over. I remember, I'll never forget it. They gallop over, they jump over me, they jump over you. This one guy digs his feet in the ground, and he's just fearless. Hey, I got you. Another guy's kind of hovering over me. They were calm, they were collected, they dug their feet in fearlessly. Grabbed your backpack, kind of lifted it off, and then immediately grabbed you, and you didn't need much because they had that traction.
The guy who got to me first, he put his foot under my foot, wedged under my foot.
He just dug it in.
He dug it in. Stopped me from sliding anymore. So that stabilized me, and then, as you said, he took off my backpack and then kind of grabbed me and helped me get up.
And then they helped me, got my backpack off, and it didn't take much. And all of a sudden, we're okay. And then we got off, and we obviously thanked our rescuers. Thank you, Santiago, Casey, the other rescuers we had. Thank you. We feel so lucky to be here. So